Hi, Rick Rickoff here. This is a review of the Wonderjune outdoor library box that I ordered at Amazon. When I saw this item advertised, it occurred to me that even though I have no use for a library box, this structure would perhaps be an ideal place for delivery persons to leave small parcels, rather than leaving them out in the rain or snow at my front door. My order arrived well protected as a box within another box and included 9 pieces that needed to be joined together using hardware and screws that were also included. A small Phillips screwdriver and a hex wrench for tightening screws was also provided, along with an assembly instruction sheet. There were no written instructions, but the assembly steps were shown in diagrams that were easy enough to follow. It took me about 20 minutes to fully assemble the box, and I ended up using my own screwdriver because I was afraid the supplied one would damage the smaller screws. That's because it did not fit the screws that well. It was kind of loose. As you can see, the box looks pretty good in this photo, but there were some issues that I must point out to others. This view of the backside lower corner shows a rather wide gap where the backboard should meet the sideboard, and there is also a gap between the back and bottom board. That gap could have been closed if a screw and drilled hole had been provided at the lower corners of the backing board, but it appears that the maker never gave that a thought. The wider gap between the sideboard and backing board cannot be closed, however, because either the backing board was not made wide enough or the bottom board was made too wide. One cannot expect a box with such gaps to hold up very well or to protect its contents when left outdoors. Notice also that whatever coating that has been applied to protect the wood is very thin and appears to be non-existent at the bottom. This next view shows another serious flaw. When you fasten the door hinges in place, the screws must be driven into pilot holes, which the manufacturer has drilled. And as you can see, this brings the door up tightly against the left sideboard. In fact, the fit is so tight that the door will not fully close. Instead, the door remains open even when the box is laying on its back, as shown here. You can see that a cabinet closure magnet is provided and mounted at its intended location, along with a metal tab attached to the door at that location. But this is of little help when the door will not close properly. Also, the screws which fasten the magnet to the bottom board are too small to hold the magnet firmly in place. Therefore, it cannot be adjusted properly. To get the door working right, I will need to remove the door and trim about 1/16 of an inch from its left side, and will need to find some proper screws for the magnet. Fortunately, I have workshop tools that will allow me to disassemble the box and correct all these flaws, but many others considering a purchase may not be so fortunate. If the manufacturer could eliminate these flaws, I would rate this box with 5 stars. But since these obvious flaws do exist, I feel that only a 3-star rating is warranted at this time. I hope this review has been helpful to those who are interested in a box of this type. Thanks for watching my review video.